Hi, now this was supposed to be a very simple video showing you how to remove the KTM shock linkage, there it is, from 660, 640, yeah, they're all pretty much similar, and then examine the different bearings, find out what was worn and how to replace it. Now this is the linkage on mine. After it's been removed, you can see that on the video in a while. There's two very big heavy duty needle roller bearings here. They're both fine on mine, and on this one, this one is the shock mount. It actually goes up that way, so that's the rear shock mount, and this is a spherical bush bearing which fits in there. It's got sort of lateral movement. Spherical bush bearing number 161061. Unfortunately, this is obsolete. KTM don't make it, there's none in stock at any dealers, no bearing manufacturers can help you, and there is no direct replacement whatsoever. It's been a real pain. So part one of this video remains valid, how to check the mechanism, take it all out, and what to look for. And then in part two, what I'm going to do is my search for a solution and how to solve the problem, so that on your 660, 640 or whatever, when you need this obsolete bearing, it shows you how to do it. Okay, let's get started. Hi there. Today I'm going to be working on my KTM 660 SMC. Now, I took this to the MOT last month, and although it passed, I was given an advisory on the suspension linkage down here, saying that it was a bit of play and I wouldn't pass it again next year. It needed to be done. It just about passed. So what we're doing is stripping out the suspension linkage, finding out where the play is, talking about replacement, and basically showing you how to do it. So let's get started. Okay, I've got the bike jacked up on my trolley jack so the back wheel's free to move, as you can see. And I'm just going to see if we can see this play or feel this play. So, yeah, quite distinct. Not sure if you can see from there, but that wheel is moving quite a bit. I'll see if I can get it so you can see it better. So here's the linkage up close, and moving the wheel around, it does seem that this bush here at the bottom of the shock absorber is the one causing the problem. The others seem okay, though of course I'll be checking those. There's that one there, there's that one there, that one there, top of the shock. This one here I replaced a couple of years ago. It doesn't mean it's not at fault, but you never know. That's a tricky one, by the way, to replace. That is really hard to get out. Well, it is if it's seized up. So there we are. I'll be removing this, having a look at that bush there, checking all the others over. So here's the mechanism from the other side. You can see I've taken the nut off there. I've just got to push the bolt out. That one's loose from the other side. That's just got to be pulled out this way. That's the shock bolt. That's the 17mm. The others are 19. Pull that way, and then I can get the whole mechanism off. Now you may have thought, well, why don't you clean it beforehand? Well, I suppose that would have been sensible in some ways, but once the whole thing's off, I can clean it properly in my parts washer and make sure it's all nice and neat. So I'm just going to pull that off now. Okay. So here's the mechanism from underneath, and I was going to knock out the top bolt, just a little gentle tap. It's nice and loose, it's nicely greased up. That one, you can just about see the drift, you can see it popping out the other side. That's where it attaches to the actual swing arm. It sounds like I'm banging that hard. I'm not, it's just a metal drift that makes a nice loud sound. That's that nicely out. There's the bolt, as you can see, it's no rust. It's greased up fairly recently. Then we've got this shock bolt here, which is the 17. That's that one pulled out. That's nice. And finally, we'll tap this one out gently from the other side. I'll just do that from the other side. I was trying to do it from that side so you could see. Just tap it out gently from this side. There we go. Get the chain out of the way. And at this point, these arms move away. That feels nice. That's good. That's the one I replaced That one movement there is the one I replaced a couple of years ago, and it does feel nice, which is reassuring. And this will now pull away from the shock, pull away from the swing arm, and there we go. Right, over to the bench. Let's have a look what we've got. Well, here we are on the bench. I'm about to clean this up, but just by carefully feeling it with my hands, it's already quite clear. This is fine, this one's fine, but this one, which is the shop one, is got movement all over it. Hard for you to see, so I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time, but that has really got quite a lot of play. Here's the bits cleaned up, just a quick wash in the old parts washer, nothing special, and look how nice they came up. One of the things I like about the KTM, it's sort of my go-to bike in messy, horrible conditions, and fun conditions. It just cleans up so well. You can probably see, if I get the right way around, that it's higher. There's a bigger bush space at the top than at the bottom. It's much more compact here than at the top there, where it's actually sagged down. You can actually see it's out of centre in the camera. Never mind feeling the play. So it's obviously very worn. It's worn its way down. So I've now got to try and remove these two caps from this side, and for that I'm using a drift which catches in a little slot in the middle. There's a little slot between the two, not very big, but it's enough to get a drift in. I'm going to rest that on a socket which covers the outside of that rests on the aluminium. That's a socket I've previously modified in the past in my lathe, made it flat at the end to get onto a very low flush nut, and then hopefully with a few taps and bangs I should be able to remove it. Let's hope it works. And as you can see, that started to come out nicely. There it is. So I'll be able to tap that all the way out, I hope. No, it's still a bit tight. There we are. There's the end cap. And oh dear, it's a right mess in there. And now take the other one out. And then we can look at what the damage is. Oops. Okay, that's going to take. I've got a better now. I've got this one out. I can get a better purchase at it. I'll get a drift that fits really tight in there, so it makes it easier. That should help me get it out. So here's a piece of metal I've turned down earlier on a lathe for another job, and it's quite a nice fit in there. So that means that's pressing right down on the edge of this small cap here, this inner edge. So I'll give that a whack now. I'll line that up. As you can see, 2 or 3 hard knocks. I mean, I did have to whack it quite hard. 2 or 3 hard knocks, and that's now starting to come out. So I can knock that all the way out, and we'll see what it looks like inside. Although I'm already pretty convinced it's a right mess. Now here's the linkage with the bush partly pushed out. That was quite tricky to get out. What I did in the end was I used just a little spacer this side there. Obviously it's pushed through now. I had a socket on the outside, a large socket that was on the actual housing, and then put that in my vise and slowly pressed it through, and this little bush now is ready to come out, I hope. There we are. So there's the bush. That's the one that needs replacing. There's the housing, there's the seals either side, obviously they need replacing. So I'll just check the rest of the linkages, these parts here, get ordering, and get the job finished. So here's the seal waiting to be removed, and I've mounted it in my vise. I've used aluminium both sides so you can hold it firm but not damage it. What I'm going to have to do is push on this lip, tap with a sharp screwdriver or a chisel if you've got a sharp screwdriver. Just tap it with a hammer and just try and bend, because it's only a thin seal, bend it in, and then I'll have a lip to be able to pull out or wedge it out. So let's see how that goes. So there's the lip bent slightly in, and it means one can either get a screwdriver in here and so try to lever it out. If I've got enough out so far, I think I need 2 hands on that. Lever it out, yeah, I'll need 2 hands. Lever it out, or possibly knock a bit more in, we'll see. So I've put a little bit more of a lip on there, and with a little bit of prying, that should, there we are, that's come out. It's falling on the floor down there, and you can clean that up and you can see all nice and clean, ready for your new seal. Now I've remounted it in the vise because we want to be looking at these bushes, bearings, sorry, check they're okay. Now I know there's no play on those, but they need re-greasing while we're here. So you have to be careful because we're not, hopefully, not going to replace these. So you just need to get the end caps out, just gently tug. There you are, there's one off. Then the other side, careful not to get too close to the seal. There's the other one. You can see there's a little tiny washer in between the two, please don't lose that. A little spacer, not one on this side, and then you can push out the inner, and as you can see that's beautifully greased. I'll re-grease it up, but that looks very nice. I can't feel any play at all. No play there. Certainly not worth replacing. It's just an extra job you don't need to do. So I'll grease those up now and get them all ready to go back on the bike once the other seals and bearings in place. Well, I hope you found that video useful, and if you did, please click like, and why not subscribe to my channel, ready for part 2 when it's uploaded.